Good evening, everyone, to the Scientists Reverse Grid League here in the Einstein League. Tonight we have our season finale starting here at Portimao in Portugal and finishing it up after that race in Monza, Italy. So two very exciting tracks and two very exciting grids, because right now we have 14 people in. There could be one or two more for the next race, but it's 5 red lights out right now. Rawson is starting P1 in his McLaren, Spooner in second, Rob in third in his Alpine. Everyone has a good start, but turn 1 is a cracker. It's already a cracker here at Portimao. Let's see, everyone does it somehow. No big hits here. Let's see how that turn is going on. And then turn 4, a very tricky one. Let's see if everyone goes around here. No spins at the moment. Looks very, very good. Everyone keeping that car on track. Looks very nice. Infamous going for the overtake against Simpiel, I think, but someone lost a part of his wing here. It seems like Infamous still has his wing, but there was definitely contact. Let's see what happens here. Turn 8. Horrific corner when it comes down to traction. Infamous trying to attack, but he's glitching around a little bit. Oh, it's a Ferrari who lost a part of his wing. It's I think, the left side of his wing, and there's a Haas gone. That's Simpiel. He's completely gone out of turn 11 or 12, I think that was. And Infamous up to P9. Let's see if we have anyone coming into the pits already. But what we see here is that Rob is going for the overtake against Rawson up to P1. Rawson trying with ERS to get his car alongside Rob, but no chance. Walterby and Ticunha fighting very hard for P5 here. Walterby is the title challenger here in this race. He's in P2 in the championship. Jaden is in P1, but as you can see, Jaden is not in the race, and his teammate for now, Raisin, who's in the AlphaTauri as a reserve tonight, wants to get enough points for AlphaTauri to also win the Constructors. I'll give you a little insight into the Drivers' and Constructors Championship. As soon as the race has settled down a little bit, we see that Yor is in the pits, is at the exit of the pits right now, on fresh tires. Let's see on which tires he is now. He's on hards, and as you can see, only 3 guys starting on mediums. Raisin, Infamous, and Funnybot. Everyone else starting on the soft tire compound, and we only have Yor with a 3-second tire penalty at the moment, and also the only guy who has pitted. Looking at the position changes, we see that Ticunha just got overtaken by Moshe beautifully on the inside there of the last corner. But taking a look at the position changes as Ticunha is coming into the pits, he lost 4 places until then. Rob gained 2. Spooner still in P2. Scientist P3. Rawson down to P4 from pole position. Walterby up to P5 by 2 positions. Raisin with the biggest jump, 6 places up to P6. And Moshe 2. Infamous with 5 places. Funnybot lost 1. Ticunha and Yor lost 9 because they already have pitted. This is our first race here at Portugal. The Darwin League, which takes place later in the night, will also race at Portimao for the first time, but this is really the first race in Scientific Reverse Grid League here in Portugal, as we have Chappie and his McLaren going off in turn 7, not even making the tricky turn 8 here. He's now into turn 8, and he has Gerardon side by side with him. Chappie down to P11. Another yellow flag. Who is that? Oh, that was still yellow flags in sector 2. Very tricky to follow everyone here. We see that Scientist is closing the gap to Spooner, only half a second away, and as we're on that 4, people are now allowed to use DRS to have an advantage on the main straight. The straight here in Portugal is very long because you have that long... Talking about long, that was a spinny moment for Spooner, but he just caught it. Scientist trying to get him here. Down the inside into the hairpin. Let's see Spooner's, we can see Spooner's nose here, but Scientist is now ahead of Spooner into P2. Spooner down to P3 for the moment. Rawson still very close behind in P4. And Infamous still in P7 behind Raisin and Walterby. So I think the race has calmed down a little bit. That means we'll take a close look at the standings right now in the Einstein League. And we just add a few points onto that. So right now in the Drivers' Championship we have Jaden, who is not in this race. He has ready up, but he's not in. He leads the championship standings with 335 points. Walterby is only 6 points behind him with 329. And right now Walterby just lost his position against Raisin, but he couldn't care less because he's getting points. In P6 he's getting a lot of points as the Radon has spun at the beginning of Sector 2. That's turn 8, I think. Coming back to the championship, Walterby in P6. That means he gets a lot of points and will take the lead from Jaden. So let's see if Jaden maybe joins for the last race. That also means in the Constructors' Championship with Rob in the lead at the moment. And Walterby in P6, that they get more points than AlphaTauri, with just Raisin is racing at the moment. In the Constructors, Alpine lead with 498, AlphaTauri behind with 461, so around 35 points behind. We have yellow flags again. It's SRGL and Chappie, who had a little moment together here, it seems like. Both spun out of turn 8, both. Maybe going side by side into that corner. Wouldn't recommend that. Anyway, oh yeah, hallelujah. SRGL losing it again. Chappie overtaking him. Oh, and Chappie do spin again, and he's out of the race, as we could see on board. Very unfortunate. Yellow flag, Sector 2, Sector 3. Let's see if we have a safety car. We have a virtual safety car for the moment. Let's see if he stays like that, or if we have maybe a car safety car. But for now, it just seems like we have a virtual one. Let's see if anyone uses that chance to maybe pit. We have Jacuna P10 coming around the last corner, but he already has pitted onto fresh mediums a few laps to go. Yours on hards, maybe he uses that chance to pit again from mediums, maybe to not stay on these hards for a long time, but he's deciding to just stay on these hards. SRGL is using that chance to pit now, maybe on to mediums. Let's see, he hasn't done a pit stop yet, so good timing for him, not losing a lot of time here in the pits. Third on P13. Let's see where Rob is. Rob is coming around the last corner now. Oh yeah, seems to have some issues with his delta. The virtual safety car is still on. So let's see if he maybe uses the chance to pit. And yeah, he's coming in. He's coming in. He's taking a risk, but he's committing to it. Still virtual safety car. As long as the virtual safety car is still out, Rob has luck, and there's the green flag. So yeah, Rob definitely has a small advantage here. Not a big one, but a small advantage, because on the way into the pits and into his pit box, there was still yellow flags. The good thing for him now is that he has clean air ahead of him. He's 2.5 seconds, 10.5 seconds, now 11 seconds behind the funny bot, so he has clean air on fresh mediums, doesn't have to pit anymore, and that could be the chance for him to gain a little bit more time now in clean air, and then overtake everyone as soon as they have to do their pit stops. That means Rawson is now up to P1 again, Raisin already up to P2, Spooner P3, Walterby P4, Infamous up to P5, followed by Moshe Funny-Bot, Rob, Scientist, Jacuna. Let's see if Scientist also pitted. Yeah, he did. He also pitted. Maybe he pitted together with Rob. Didn't get that on screen, but it seems like that happened. Let's see if we have any close battles here. We have, especially at the top, Raze and Rawson. We will have low ERS on the Rawson side. We will have DRS and ERS for Raisin. Oh, Rawson not making it an easy overtake for Raisin here, moving a little bit to set Raisin off. Spooner very close behind, running over that big fat sausage curb. And there goes Rawson. Binala Binala. That's a P6 for him at the moment. Your funny bot just coming around the corner, overtaking him too. That's horrible for Rawson, down to P7. But yeah, that corner is very tricky. Almost every corner around here is tricky. Infamous up to P4 now, and Walterby chilling back in P6 is now up to P2. But let's see what the race will still bring, because we only have 8 of 17 laps, not even 50% done, so still on board with the leader, Raisin. He's already around 2 seconds ahead of Waterby and everyone behind in the pack. Let's jump on board with Spooner to see if he has a chance to overtake Waterby with DRS. He's not using any ERS. He's showing himself on the inside, but backing off for the moment. He's a reserve, and as a reserve, you shouldn't go for 50-50 overtakes. He didn't do that, so very clean driving by him. And Rawson had a moment here. It seems like he wanted to pit and just spun right before the pit entry. Who knows what happened there, but we're back with Spooner on board behind Walterby, and you can see that Walterby has gained a few tenths here and there in the first and second sector, but Spooner is gaining here in turn 8, as you can see, around 3 tenths on Walterby. Beautifully taken. Now around the next tricky right ender. Uphill, downhill. This is really like a roller coaster, this track. You have to be very, very careful on the throttle not to lose your car on traction. Of course, everyone is allowed to have traction on medium. I know that a few guys are running TC off, so it's even harder for them to stay on track, as we have a 3-second time penalty for Spooner coming around the last corner, and also 5-second on top of that for speeding in the pit lane. So Spooner is not very ambitious when it comes to the race win, because he has just collected 8 seconds within 10 seconds. That's a lot. Raisin's still in P1, Infamous now up to P2. He's on medium, so maybe he's just waiting for the right moment to pit, maybe waiting for another safety car desperately. But Walterby is up to P6 and Rob is up to P4 already. As you can see, only the top 3 haven't pitted yet. And the top 5 at the moment don't even have penalties. On board with Honeybot right now, as we have no very close battles on track. Spooner is around a second behind Walterby. But besides that, nothing really happens here. Switch into Raisin, because he's probably the first one of these guys to pit. Still on mediums, so he will pit the soft compound tyre. But he's staying out. He's gone on. A little bit, maybe gaining a little bit of time here. Of course, he was 5 seconds behind. That's not a real undercut, but maybe Raisin is coming out in traffic after his pit stop, and Infamous can gain that time back. Let's see what happens. We have your funny bot also into the pits, and we can see that Rob has overtaken these guys now. So Rob back into P2, but he wants to be back in P1, of course, and therefore he has to push now, because he's around 19-20 seconds behind Raisin, and Raisin will pit with soft tires, so Rob has to push very, very hard now. Walterby in P4. Everyone is pitted now instead of Raisin. Good result for Alpine at the moment. Still have 7 laps to go. Nothing's decided yet. Spooner still very close behind Walterby. That's the closest battle on track at the moment. Infamous behind Spooner. Infamous is on softs now. So we have a little three-way battle here with Walterby, Spooner, and Infamous at the moment. As you can see, Raisin is coming into the pits now. We quickly jump on board with Rob. Well, not on board. We want to see everything. Let's see if Rob comes out ahead of Raisin. Raisin just coming into his pit box. Gets the soft tires on. Walt and Rob is on the main straight now, crossing the start-finish line. And also overtaking Raisin now. Let's see what Scientist can do. He's on the main straight too, but I think he has no chance to overtake Raisin. No, as we can see, he's a few seconds behind. So Raisin is in P2. He's 4 seconds behind Rob. That's the goal. 4 seconds for Raisin on fresh softs to get Rob and to get as much points as he can for AlphaTauri, as we have dirt on with a little spin out of turn 8. And Rob about to lap him in a few moments maybe. He's only 2 corners away. We again have yellow flags, and yeah, that's dirt on again. So Rob is definitely lapping him right now, as is a group of maybe 8 cars he's doing now at the moment. But yeah, it's unfortunate, but you just live to fight for another day. That's it. Rob still P1. Raisin only 2.8 now behind, so he closed the gap by over a second within 1 lap. So these softs and the driving style of Raisin suit this track very, very well. Scientist P3 at the moment, Walterby P4, but Walterby has a penalty at the moment. And Infamous is very close behind Walterby with the fastest lap too, overtaking Spooner on the lap before that. So Infamous flying at the moment. No penalties for him. P5, Walterby clearly ahead. He will have the DRS on him after turn 4 it is, I think. Yeah, it is turn 4, but no chance to overtake Walterby at the moment. Raisin still closing that gap, 1.5 only now. And Moshe is really close behind Funnyboard at the moment. Only half a second, like Infamous behind Walterby. Of course, the more spectacular battle is Walterby against Infamous, because for Walterby, it's about everything here. It's about the Drivers' Championship and the Constructors' Championship. And he gets a time penalty, and let's see where he stands now with the penalties. That's 6 seconds for Walterby at the moment, so the only one out of the top 5 who has penalties. He's a little bit lucky that Spooner in P6 also has penalties, 8 seconds. But your Funnybot behind has no penalties, so Walterby has to push. As we have yellow flags in sector 1, it's a Haas, it's Simpiel, probably a spun and Infamous about to overtake Walterby cleanly with DRS clearly ahead. So no 50-50 move, of course. And now Infamous is coming for Scientist. Another 3 seconds for Spooner. So Infamous not having the DRS at the moment, but still setting fastest sector time. So he's absolutely flying now up to P4, and he can fight Scientist really, because they're both reserves for tonight. So there's no Gucci cuddling. That was with Walterby, because he's a regular driver in Einstein. Infamous can go full guns blazing. And full guns blazing is also Spooner, who is out of this race. He lost it somewhere before turn 7, or maybe around turn 7, turn 8. Let's see, we're on board with yours. Somewhere on the right side must be Spooner's car. Somewhere in the gravel or something. I can't see anything here. Yeah, but we don't have the safety car. So there we have Draden, who gets left by Yor, and which is not so cool, is to see that Dorado is driving into your car. Of course he's ghosted because he gets left, but it's not cool when you get driven into your car, because it's very confusing regarding braking points and turning points. It's not really cool, to say the least. It's not fun, it's not cool, it's just irritating. And Infamous is overtaking Scientist. Beautiful move down the inside with the help of DRS on the first little DRS part there. And Infamous is glitching a little bit from the Scientist's point of view. Raisin overtook Rob. Didn't catch that, unfortunately. Well, let's see what happens here. Durden's still there. Yeah, so I'm just commentating here, but I don't like to see that, to be honest. I really don't like to see that, because Yor and Rawson are fighting for points here. Yor's also fighting for points for himself in the Drivers' Championship, and he's fighting for Ferrari for the Constructors. And what Durden is doing here is not cool. It's not cool. He gets penalties, he's lapped. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And Walterby is now coming for Scientist down the main straight. He's making it work back to the racing line for a better turn in into turn 1. Walterby up to P4, and Scientist losing positions now. Infamous P3, Walterby P4, Scientist P5. With 2 laps to go, lap 16 of 17 by most of the guys. Not able to score any points as Raisin is now crossing the line in P1, wins that race for AlphaTauri. Rob with a very good performance, P2 for him. Infamous with a big climb from the back like Raisin up to P3. Walterby P4, falling back to P6 of course. Scientist P4, you're funny about P5. Moshe P7 at the moment, he's just crossing the line. D'Cunha 15.5 seconds behind. He will probably finish that race in P8. He's just coming around the last corner. Coming across the line now, P8 for D'Cunha. So good points for Aston Martin with P3 and P8. Helps them definitely in the Constructors. You're finishing in P9 and Sigma in P10. So that was it here at Portimao. A very eventful race, to say the least. A lot of action, a lot of spins. Not so many crashes, which is very, very good regarding the amount of reserve drivers in here. Always very good to see that everyone's driving clean and doing clean and sexy overtakes. Raisin is your winner of the race here at Portimao. Rob finishing in P2 in his Alpine, and Infamous as a reserve is getting a lot of points for Aston Martin here in P3 at Portimao. So we're taking a look at the race results. Our podium in Raisin, Rob and Infamous just seen there. Scientist finishing in P4. Be funny about P5. Walterby P6. Moshe in P7. D'Cunha P8. Yor P9. Simpiel P10. And Durden in P11. We have a few DNFs unfortunately in Rawson, Spooner and Chappie. So that's it from